morning.
Yeah. Hard to resist beating on the tabletop, you know, when you hear that music.
Oh, yeah.
You want to drum along.
So here we are. Let's see. The Exiles.
Must be Italian.
Yes, I want to be just like the people who are on the news stations with their pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't.
You have something new to report?
I could not even keep up with it. Although, you know, they're looking for this poor young girl who may have jumped off the bridge. Mm-hmm. And last night on Channel Twice, Earl Phelps is doing a story about her family coming in and all the people who were helping to search and all this type of thing.
Yes.
And they did a little kind of a prayer vigil yesterday.
Yes, saw that on the news.
And apparently she's well known in Opelousas. That's her hometown. Mm-hmm. And the mayor of Opelousas was speaking. And the super had his name. And then it said EPILEOSAS mayor. Opelousas. You know, kind of like
Opelousas.
Kind of the little thing that used to, you know...
so nice try.
Kind of thing that used to have little springs that would pull the hair out of your nads, you know?
Wait a minute,
the epilady.
I thought that was a horse with a spotted ass.
No, that's Oprah Lucis. That's the big woman who does interviews with Meghan Markle. Oprah uses.
Joking about that news piece and that aside, the story itself is extremely disturbing to me. I have a hard time, just me personally, with the idea that this girl had an accident with someone at the top of the I-10 Mississippi River Bridge and was so despondent in a car accident that she decided to leap over the edge of the bridge.
Well, they're still not sure that she actually had an accident. The car was abandoned on the bridge and then it was hit by another car. They stopped to render aid.
Does anybody know anything about this girl's life or state of mind that they're contributing?
She had an argument with her longtime boyfriend earlier in the day.
Argument with a boyfriend? Drive all the way from Opelousas to Baton Rouge to jump off the bridge?
No, she lived in Baton Rouge. She's an LSU student.
Okay,
yeah.
Still, drive up onto the bridge just to jump off. I don't know.
Well, there are a lot of people, particularly in that age group, that do rather impulsively end their own lives.
I find that just horrible to think about. I was hoping, against hope, that she wasn't kidnapped from the accident scene or from the scene of that somebody managed to pull her over or get her to stop and then carried her off to parts unknown.
Well, LSU PD, BRPD, and the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Department have been combing through her car, through her phone, which was left in the car, through her possessions like her wallet, her credit cards. They have been looking for anything that might indicate the presence of someone else. And their official statement on Saturday was, do not suspect foul play or criminal activity in her disappearance.
Okay.
Now.
Not yet.
Why
aren't there cameras on that bridge? As much stuff as there is to mount cameras from, why aren't there 2 or 3 cameras mounted to view the bridge deck on the bridge?
Maybe we should call Dr. Sean Wilson and ask him.
Because if they had cameras on the bridge, do they have them on the bridge to hold? Well, I know that they have traffic cameras looking at the bridge. I'm talking about cameras on the bridge that would actually be able to pick up activity on the bridge.
Like could see somebody walking to the edge.
I'd say put a camera up every, 40 yards? Something like that, I guess, depending on how the superstructure is built. But if there were cameras on the bridge, they would have seen, here she is, the car's coming to a stop, here she is getting out of the car, and here she is doing whatever came next.
You know what, that's a really good question for Dr. Wilson. I mean, since high bridges, and we have 2 high bridges in our city.
Yeah, and within about 5 years, we'll have 3.
You know, they are, unfortunately, suicide engagement points.
I think if you want to end it all and you want it to be relatively
quick,
it's pretty assured that if you swan dive off a bridge that high, that's going to be the end of you.
Yeah. Now, An interesting aside to this, during the search, they have people that are searching in the water as well. They found a bullet-riddled van, a full-size van, in the water, in the Mississippi River. It's got about 30 bullet holes in it.
Any idea how long it's been there?
Well, it wasn't all rusted up. You can still see the paint quite nicely.
Well, how did it get in there without anyone knowing?
Well, that's what we don't know. They said it's not connected to her disappearance, but now they have a second potential crime scene.
Makes you wonder if they found anyone in that van.
They did not.
Okay.
They did not.
Wow. So strange. Well, like I said, I'm hoping against hope that there's some chance that this young woman will be found alive.
Well, I fear that we have passed that point.
And we have hit the point of where we have to take our first break for the hour. So we'll take a pause. Coming up later in the hour, we're going to talk about visiting Baton Rouge, cranking it up again. Paul Arrigo will be our guest on Exiles TV.
Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Exiles TV. Glad to have you with us. I'm Bill Profita. He is Kevin Gallagher.
So I am told.
More unrest in the Minneapolis area. And you never want to have to talk about something like this. But last night, there were demonstrations that turned violent in a suburb called Brooklyn Center. It is a closely held suburb to Minneapolis. And the reason it happened is a 20-year-old black man, Dante Wright, was shot during a traffic stop. A woman who identified herself as Wright's mother said her son was pulled over because air fresheners were hanging in his rearview mirror.
Is that a local ordinance?
I don't know.
What?
The police said in a statement that he had an outstanding warrant and got back into the vehicle when they tried to take him into custody. Now, his mother gave statements to every media outlet that asked, which was every media outlet.
Yeah, I saw her on 2 different channels.
She was on the phone with him. And he said, Mom, they're asking for the insurance information. And she said, when the officer comes back to the car, put him on the phone and I will give him all the insurance information. At that point, and this is his mom saying, she hears the police officer saying, sir, you need to get out of the car. And he said, why? Why do I have to get out of the car? And he said, get out of the car and we'll explain it to you. At that point, she heard the officer saying, don't do that, don't run, don't do that. And then she heard the gunshot. Now, they have dash camera and body camera on all these officers. They have already said that they believe that they were all in good working order. But the protesters didn't wait, even with his own mother saying he was not complying with the directives of the police officers. The protesters went out in the street. At last count, they broke glass or tried to set on fire, or actually set on fire, some 28 stores in a shopping center that's very near to where the traffic stop happened. But they're all out there with their hands up going, hands up, don't shoot. He didn't have his hands up.
It wasn't part of the scenario at all.
He was trying to get away from being arrested. Now, I am guessing that they did not shoot at the fleeing vehicle. I am guessing when he took off, there was an officer in front of the vehicle. The vehicle at that point became a weapon, and that's why the officer fired. If they fired at a fleeing vehicle, they're all going to jail.
Yep.
Because you can't do that, even as a police officer.
Well, they might not have fired when it was fleeing. The gunshot might have happened before the foot went on the accelerator.
Well, either way, then they better have seen a weapon. You can't shoot somebody running away from you unless you're a prison guard and it's someone who is in prison.
Yeah. And
So,
as I understand it, after he sped away, he didn't get very far. He crashed into another vehicle.
yeah, about a block.
So, but you're right. It's like hands up, don't shoot. That's great. That was good for 2019. But it's not relevant here, and why do it? The other thing, do you think it helps BLM or hurts BLM that it was found that the founder of BLM, the organization, not BLM, the grassroots movement, has spent about $3 million on multiple homes here in the not so recent past?
I don't care.
Well, that's people. It tells you that the people behind this supposedly good organization are merely feathering their own nest.
Well, it's just like most ministers, other than Roman Catholic priests. There's at least 2 churches in town here where the minister gets a salary that is 6 figures and also has a parsonage. One of them had a parsonage that was in the Country Club of Louisiana.
A parsonage.
Yes.
I like that.
So
Parsonage in the country club.
You know what? If people want to give money to this guy and his organization,
It's their money.
yeah, and he can write himself any kind of salary he wants until they object,
It's their money.
as long as he pays taxes on it. But
My beef is people are supposedly upset about a black man being killed by police using it as an opportunity to loot and burn. Again.
well, and again, why not wait until we get the full story?
Oh, we never wait until we get the full story, Bill. The full story comes out after there's been much destruction and even sometimes loss of life. That's when the full story comes out.
In addition, and if you're offended by this, you're too thin-skinned, and I apologize to you if you're offended by this, but we are now getting to the point in this country when it comes to encounters between police and black males, where apparently it's impossible for a black male in this society to ever be wrong. Sorry, if you don't like that, look at the past history. All right?
In the recent past, there have been very, very few shootings by police in which the person shot didn't somehow precipitate the gunfire on his or her own. Now, the one I could think of was, and I won't be able to remember the man's name, it was an exotic name.
Philandro Castile is who
Thank
you're
you
talking
very
about.
much. Philandro Castile. Didn't have a weapon, He wasn't really guilty of anything except that he did not freeze. Don't you move. Guys with guns saying, don't you move, means I'm not going to move. And Mr. Castile did move, and nervous police officers filled him with bullets. It was a tragedy.
Well, and again, one of them is in prison for that, I believe. Mm-hmm. You know, but if you look at the stats, that are kept by the FBI, in every year, there are more Caucasians killed by police gunfire than there are African Americans or Hispanics.
There's plenty of white boys. Who cares?
Well, the point of the matter is,
Clarence, was that funny?
we need to have a yardstick that is reasonable for everybody. And I mean, this guy's 20 years old. He's a young dad. His mama still apparently pays for the insurance on the car he's driving.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that he should know is, until you get right with these police officers, do not refuse to do what they tell you to do. They weren't telling him, you know, to take off his pants and strut around the street like a chicken. They were saying, step out of the car, which is a perfectly lawful, legal, normal command. I think he knew they were going to hook him up, and I think he foolishly thought he could get away. And as my old...
But that's you use the word foolishly. You're not getting away.
Well, you know what my former roommate, who was a career state trooper, now deceased, what he used to say is, he said, these people don't understand that there is no vehicle in the world that can outrun a radio. Mm-hmm.
They already know who he is.
They got his license and they got his plate.
Unless he's prepared to go on the run, to go live underground over, a simple want or warrant, it's foolish. It's
yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing.
Do we know what he was wanted? They had an outstanding warrant for what?
They have not released yet what the warrant was for, because they are going to investigate everybody in this.
You're not getting away. You can't outrun the radio, and even if they decide not to chase you at that particular time, because, I don't know, urban environment, whatever, they're going to come and pick you up, like the next day or in a couple of days. They know where to find you. I don't know. It's so sad. We have another life lost. Any potential this young man had is wasted.
And you know what's sad is everybody is jumping to a conclusion that it's murder by cops on a poor innocent black man, and they're out in the streets. And here's the numbers: 20 businesses in one shopping center very close to it were broken into, and then a Walmart and a Target and 6 other businesses down the street.
Yep, it's not appropriate. It's not an appropriate demonstration, which is what the news is calling it. Demonstration. It's a riot.
You are overplaying your hand.
Mm-hmm. I think Marty's trying to tell us we need to take another break.
Marty? You pay attention to Marty?
Yeah, he's the floor director. That means he's bossing me.
Well, I mean, it would be nice if he asked. If he had a smile on his face.
He's tippy-tapping his pen over there. He's letting us know.
If I didn't feel like he was, the assistant principal in high school going, Mr. Pepito, we need to have a word.
When I hear that rap, that means rap, W-R-A-P, and go to commercial.
See, no, I thought it's just that tick he has. You mean he doesn't have Tourette's syndrome?
Hey, coming up in just moments, as the governor loosens restrictions more and we may see some end in sight to the COVID restrictions, what's it like to reopen tourism in our city?
I saw a riverboat on our river just last week, disgorging people with socks and sandals.
It's been too long since we've talked with Paul Arrigo from Visit Baton Rouge. We will do so next on Exiles TV.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9. Happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
The selection is deep, and the time to get a used car is right now from the Team Automotive Group. Shop and save on over 125 certified vehicles and choose from more than 700 pre-owned vehicles at any of our team locations. Or log on anytime at teamautouse.com.
You talk to Paul while I do this.
Hey, welcome back to Exiles TV. Bill Profita over yonder. I'm Kevin Gallagher, and our guest, we haven't spoke with him in a long, long time, well, because there hasn't been much of anything going on in a long, long time. From Visit Baton Rouge, Paul Arrigo. Glad to have you with us once again.
It's been a while, but thank you.
You look good.
For giving me the opportunity. Sure.
You look good. So we're now in what I'd call is it officially phase 3, where some things are being allowed to be open.
That's right.
There's less restriction on attendance.
Correct.
What does that mean for events and things that we're used to having here in Baton Rouge?
Well, ironically, let me just go back. 2018, which seemed like a long time ago.
It seems like
2019,
eons.
Both excellent years for visitation tourism. I think we had Country Fest one year. We had the soccer tournament. Mm-hmm. Everything was great. Come 2020, the first 2 months, outstanding. The first 2 weeks of March of last year, outstanding. In fact, just prior to shutting down for COVID, we hosted something called Travel South, which were tour operated. It was a fantastic thing for Baton Rouge. Bang, the middle of March comes, everything goes south. So we have been tracking. Last year, 2020, was a bad year for visitation, but it was a bad year everywhere. Mm-hmm. This year, compared to January and February, it was down because obviously January and February last year was up. What we have found is that since about the middle of February, believe it or not, and for you guys understand, our weekends have been doing very, very well as far as visitation, running into 80% or so for Friday and Saturday night, which is excellent for a weekend. Weekdays have been down because corporate travel has been down. Mm-hmm. Weekends for leisure travel, people going from Texas to Florida, stopping along the way, back and forth, have been great on the weekends. Now, the corporations, many corporations, as you know, have had declarations that there would be no travel or forever until whatever reason. Now, we've gotten past that it is, quote, safe to travel, and I think that we're going to see, particularly this week, the week after Easter, corporate travel picking up during the week, conferences and conventions. Mm-hmm. So things are not good, but they're better than they were, and they're certainly better than they could have been.
Do we have any idea where we're headed over the next, say, 90 days?
I would like to think that leisure travel is going to continue for a couple of reasons. One, people have stimulus checks. People are traveling. People are going out. People are spending that money, which is what the whole purpose of it was. I think corporate travel is going to pick up. Will it catch up to what it was last year? Would it catch up to what we expected 2025 being a total recovery? I don't think it's going to take that long for a total recovery, 2025. Although I will tell you this, we have all learned to have meetings beyond face-to-face. We've all learned to have Zoom meetings and what have you, and that may take a little bit of an impact on what our visitation as far as conferences go.
Well, I saw, I believe it was the Delta Queen.
Yes.
That was at our dock.
American Queen.
American Queen,
Delta
thank you.
Queen's still in New Orleans
Yeah.
in mothballs, right.
And they were taking passengers off to go spend money in Baton Rouge. That's a good sign. I heard that Viking is going to develop some river cruising on the Mississippi River.
Correct.
And they are going to come down the Mississippi River 5 days a week. Are they going to stop here as
They're
well?
going to stop in Baton Rouge. We're in a situation, Bill, where from March to now, we've had an empty dock. Now we're going to have a dock that's going to be very difficult to schedule all these boats coming in. But I like the boats. I like the boats a lot because it's people who get off here and they go to museums and attractions and what have you. Then they get back to their homes in Des Moines, Iowa, and
they spread the word.
Wonderful things about Baton Rouge. And as you know, those boats are quite expensive to undertake as far as the cruise, the fare on a cruise. So it's well-heeled travel and a very educated traveler.
Well, I think there's also, and I'm pretty sure that your people are marketing this, that there is We're Not New Orleans function that can benefit Baton Rouge because we offer a lot of attractions. We offer a lot of dining. We offer a lot of easy to get to within a 45-minute drive destination. And New Orleans, quite frankly, their marketing has been like, hey, we don't want you to come.
New Orleans has suffered financially much more so than we have. And I think what that tells us, Bill and Kevin, we have a very, very diverse economy here. We've got LSU, we've got Southern, we've got attorneys, we've got banking, we've got insurance, we've got associations, and we've got government. So no one faction has a big impact, unlike New Orleans, which lives off of tourism and visitation.
Well, and their tourism is very, very specific. Their tourism is pass a good time in the French Quarter. You know, I think over the years, the aquarium has been able to grab some money. The zoo has been able to grab some money. And the restaurants that tourists know about have been able to grab some money.
Right.
But that's pretty much, if you shut down your French Quarter, and it's all over television that you're doing it, there's a very big disincentive for Marge and Henry from Ohio to come down to New Orleans.
I agree, and we're actually, some negativity we're feeling from New Orleans too, because a lot of the travelers to New Orleans included Baton Rouge and other areas on their trip, particularly the internationals, who, as you know, they take holiday and it's for 2 weeks and they go to Atlanta, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Memphis, and they include that in their package. So we're feeling the New Orleans effect a little bit, but not nearly as bad. And when you look at what's happening along I-10, you know, Lake Charles got hit by 2 hurricanes, and of course, as a result of that, there's a certain amount of business that they reap with the contractors still there at Lake Charles. But the rest of I-10 is suffering a bit. Lafayette, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain.
Well, and you know, as I said, I had to be downtown. I saw the riverboat, and I was like, oh, I'm glad to see that. And then I looked across the street, and I looked at the River Center, which has been redone and remade. It's a first-rate convention and entertainment venue, and it's been empty now for a year.
It has been. You're absolutely right, for the most part. Now, what we are getting back into the River Center, and I really like this market, or dance competition. It's people, young kids coming in with their parents, competition in the River Center. They're very visible. You see them all over town and what have you. So we've had some fortune with dance competition. We had some sporting events in the River Center, wrestling. Lee Fonsberg had a big volleyball tournament. So our weekends have been good as a result of the River Center and as a result of the stimulus checks. We know that the River Center Theater will be redone and I think reopening within the next several months, and that will help us with some business coming in there. A couple things we've got coming in. We hope in August, the Michelangelo exhibit, which was supposed to come to River Center about a year ago, hopefully will come back this summer, where that's something that will draw people in.
Is this the one that's also got the Last Supper?
It's the Sistine Chapel, and it's from a different view. In other words, you'll see it from on portions of it on the floor, on the ceiling, on the walls. It's a traveling exhibit.
Well, because I know that, and on that one they've got the cherubs, and I know every Italian over the age of 30 will take their kids to and go, "Hey, pull my finger."
No question about it. Now, the other thing we have coming in, and I think is neat, that we are the only city in Louisiana, and I think only nearby city, Houston, will have the Green Book exhibit coming to Baton Rouge, and as a result of
What is that?
The Green Book?
Yeah.
Did you not see the movie?
Oh, yes, I did.
The Green Book
Ali
is the motorist, Ed, what is it? The Motorist Guide to Negro Travel, which was up until about the early 60s.
Yeah, I did see the
was locations where African Americans
hotels,
restaurants, clubs, barbershops, what have you. And that exhibit is coming. That's a Smithsonian exhibit. Started up in Memphis and will be coming into Baton Rouge this summer too. And that's going to coincide with Southern football, LSU.
And where will
football,
that be on display?
That will be at the State Museum downtown, the Louisiana
Capitol
State
Museum.
The Capitol Museum. That's correct.
Oh, that'll be perfect.
I think that's so cool.
Now, Paul, it occurred to me that with all the lockdown and the COVID and the uncertainty about when things are going to get back to normal, that people who would normally be talking to you about booking their annual meeting, their convention, that sort of thing, that you're not hearing from them.
Right. What we did from the middle of March until probably two months ago, we were in the moving of business. This convention, like for instance, Louisiana Municipal Association, which was supposed to be here last summer, we had to relocate them to this summer, find the appropriate dates, et cetera, in the River Center and hotels. The other conventions, conferences, sporting events, we had to move, which was a great deal of our time. Part of our time with the two hurricanes, actually we're probably at 3 or 4 hurricanes, and the freeze, we were busy trying to find accommodations for the contractors that would come in and associated the electric company, et cetera. So a great deal of our time was doing above and beyond what we would normally do, not selling, but finding and relocating. We're back in a booking mode right now, and God willing, that's going to all turn around.
I noticed that Lieutenant Governor's office, and sometimes in cooperation with the Ag Department, but sometimes it's just CRT, Culture, Recreation, Tourism, they're doing a lot of promoting of vacationing inside Louisiana. Can you tell yet whether we're getting people that are coming from Shreveport and spending a long weekend here, people that are coming maybe from Monroe?
We're finding, yes, to answer your question, yes, we're also finding there's travel between Texas and Florida. A great deal of population in both states crossing over, stopping in Baton Rouge, and we're finding that from our website visits and our primary research. In regard to the discover your own state, the number one reason, leisure, people travel to Baton Rouge, or for the most part, almost any other city, Shreveport, Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, is to visit friends and family. So, in other words, we'll have people, LSU professor who has friends and family outside, inviting their friends and family to petroleum business, where you've got this transient population, which you have here in Baton Rouge, unlike New Orleans, which everybody's from New Orleans, but the number one reason, so people are coming to Baton Rouge to visit friends and family. We're also finding there's a certain amount of medical procedures and what have you that bring people into Baton Rouge. And of course, being the state capital, it belongs to everyone. It belongs to Shreveport, Monroe, Lake Charles, Alexandria, so that's a good reason to come to Baton Rouge.
We're going to continue. Paul Arrigo, he is the president and CEO of Visit Baton Rouge. That is the Visiting and Tourism and Convention Bureau for our complete area, in just a moment on Exiles TV.
Valello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent.
Depend on us for service, for selection, for price.
Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Valello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
The first big sale of the year is here. The Dream Garage Spring Event is underway at Team Honda. For the first time ever, get $12.50 customer cash on every new 21 Passport, or get 0% for 60 months on every new 21 Pilot at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us, Bill Profita, Kevin Gallagher, and in the center seat, Paul Arrigo, who is the president of Visit Baton Rouge. And Paul, I don't think people really understand how any visitors bureau can fund their operations. You have a big operation because you're constantly reaching out to companies for corporate meetings and conventions and sporting events. How do y'all make your money?
Okay, we are, by the way, next year we will be 50 years old as a political subdivision of the state, which was as a result of legislature enacted obviously 50 years ago, including Baton Rouge and several other destination marketing organizations, CVBs. So we are a political subdivision of the state whereby our entire marketing, our entire budget is a result of a hotel tax, which for the most part is paid by visitors, which we use that additional money to pursue additional visitors.
Well, so when we come into, do you collect the hotel tax in your entire service area or just in East Baton Rouge Parish?
East Baton Rouge Parish. East Baton Rouge Parish, we collect the hotel motel, the transient hotel tax. Or now each other bureau, Ascension, Livingston, West Feliciana, East Feliciana, all those surrounding have their own tourist commissions, and they're pretty much the same way we're structured. But we work together with those because a visitor doesn't know. When a visitor comes here, Bill, whether they're on a boat or they're driving through and they stop at the plantation home or they go to St. Francisville, there's no borders to cross. There's a sign on the side, "Welcome to St. Francisville." So they it's still Baton Rouge to them.
Yeah. And even if they're primarily doing plantation country in Ascension and the Felicianas, they may be coming here at night to lay down their heads at the Hilton, and they may be having their dinners here or their breakfast here, buying gas here.
Correct. And even when the money is spent, as you know, the turnover, perfect example, this is a great little restaurant here with a bar. That money, it moves around. For instance, when we had the bowling congress in town in 2017 and have them again in 2025, that food server gets a tip, and that food server spends it at the beautician, and the beautician spends it at the Walmart. So that money constantly turns around, especially in this business, the service industry.
It has an area of effect. It has splash damage.
That's right, especially in the service industry.
I was amazed with those bowlers, the ladies, how much retail shopping they did every single day. I mean, they were buying their meals and all that too, and they were going to nightclubs, they were going to the casinos, but boy, you go to that mall and they were in gaggles.
You know, when you see a softball tournament in town, you see the same thing. So, any sporting event like that, you have to remember, by U.S. standards, Baton Rouge is a big city. I mean, a very big city. So when you're coming here from Cutoff, or
Delmont, Iowa.
There you go. This is a big city with shopping that they're not accustomed to, and dining that they're not accustomed to, and that's why the medical market is growing, because people come here from Galliano, Louisiana, Morgan City for procedures. So they're going to bring their, especially in the summer, their kids, their grandchildren, or what have you.
Well, we've got some big draws. I mean, first of all,
Children's Hospital.
The
we have a
new Children's
lot of
Hospital
families coming in.
And Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake.
That's right.
One of the premier cancer centers in the country. And, people are coming here because Women's Hospital, they want the highly specialized medical care.
Sure.
Now, when we have kind of a diminution in our hotel motel tax, because they're not running at normal occupancy when they have all the business travelers. What do you do? Do you have to trim your budget? Do you bond against the future? What do you do?
Okay, here's what we did last year. We did not know what to expect in 2020. So a couple things we did. One, with visitation down and no opportunity to draw visitors here, we cut back our marketing effort. It would be silly to promote, especially Baton Rouge being a short-term booking city where people decide 2-3 weeks prior. So we cut back our budget significantly. We went to a bank and got a draw for $2 million. Our budget was down about a third, so it was down a couple $1 million, but we decided we would go get a draw from a local bank should things come back and we would not have the resources to pursue the business. We also applied for PPP. So the one thing we did was we ran a balanced budget in 2020. And you get so confused because you're looking at 2019, 2020. We ran a balanced budget, and we've always run a balanced budget, but we ran a balanced budget in 2020 based on us bringing in a little bit more money than we originally anticipated and spending considerably less.
Well, and I think a lot of people don't understand. When you or a member of your staff calls the National Bowling Congress and say, hey, you want to come? Your people always have a ball here and say, yeah, we're going to come. We're going to have 4,000 bowlers over 14 weeks. That's not the end of it. You all are providing services for them that cost money the entire time they're here.
Well, let me give you a perfect example. I teach our staff to under-promise and over-deliver. We meet every steamboat, every riverboat that comes in town. We provide Mardi Gras beads and information to them. Now, they do not stay in a hotel. That is not part of our revenue, but that is what we do.
Yeah.
So as a result, if somebody comes in, a perfect example, Baton Rouge gets more day visitors than overnight visitors. They don't stay in a hotel. We don't bring in any money, but we still promote it because that's what we do. And they spend money in restaurants, retail, etc.
Paul, one of the things that you guys have been so great with in past years, although the weather has not been your friend, has been Red Stick Revelry, which of course COVID-19 puts serious kibosh on that. Are you green light to go, do you think, for
my understanding
2021?
is Red Stick Revelry, which is actually produced by the administration, the mayor's office, but promoted by us. We think it's going to be on this year, and that's important because, one, we haven't had Red Stick Revelry in a while. And heaven knows, if you want to expect it to rain, it's going to rain on Spanish Town, it's going to rain on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
The only two times all winter it'll rain. But I think Red Stick Revelry really gives this city something to be proud of, because, you know, where else can you go and have this? New Orleans, yes. Mobile, I think, has the dropping of the moon pie, but Baton Rouge is the state capital. It's the place to be, New Year's Eve.
There are other signature events that we all got quite used to. It seemed like there was some kind of a festival going on downtown every weekend prior to COVID-19. And then, of course, we had Live After 5 on Friday nights. And are we going to get back to any of that kind of normalcy?
I think Live After 5 is going to start later this spring, if I recall, and going to, it's going to be in the fall. And then the Blues Fest is in the fall. I think the Arts Council Ebb and Flow will be in the fall, which is kind of cool, because also in the fall we have a convention coming called Mississippi Rivers and Towns. Obviously, it's mayors from all the river cities, from Des Moines to Gretna. And Mayor Broom is a co-chair of that organization. They're going to be coming here. We think the Ebb and Flow Festival may be in conjunction with that conference, which will have people in town, which means that those people will be added visitors and go back home to their cities.
Oh, and some big markets you can hit.
Everything from Minnesota to St. Louis, absolutely.
St. Louis, Dubuque, Des Moines, Memphis.
Vicksburg, Memphis.
You got some big markets you can go fishing in. We had Franklin Foyle on this show 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And, you know, he represents a big portion of Baton Rouge. And he said that he is very pleased with where he thinks we are for our recovery. Do you share his sentiment?
You know, not seeing, you're talking about as a city?
As a city.
Not seeing, being anywhere else, it's difficult to compare, although I know that there are some other cities not in the same situation that we're in. I sympathize with the hotels and the restaurants and the bars and the nightclubs and everybody that had to shut down. That's basically been the way it's been everywhere. So, do I think we could have done a worse job? Absolutely. But we were dealt this deck from the deck, this hand, and we've got to work with it. And I think the community has done a good job in protecting itself and each other.
Well, the one thing, and I'm not saying it just because you're sitting next to me, is I've not seen any other metro in our general area, let's go out 300 miles, positioning themselves as well as I see you and the mayor and all the other entities positioning Baton Rouge, saying, come see us. You'll get a good meal, you get a good hotel room, we're open, come on.
And we're affordable. I mean, people don't realize this is such an affordable city, and at times I wish our hotel rates were higher. And something of interest, Bill, I think of all the money that's spent by a visitor, I think only 25% is in a hotel. The other is outside retail, attractions, food, services, etc. So we're looking forward to better times. We think that right now, I've talked to the hotels, and we're shooting for back to as close as we're going to be by June.
That is good news. Paul Arrigo.
It's very encouraging.
President of Visit Baton Rouge. Always a pleasure to have you on with us, and thanks for everything you all do for our community. Keep us working, keep us fed.
Good to see you, Paul.
Back in a moment. Stick around.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
We're back with Exiles TV. So glad to have you with us as we're into the month of April now proper. It won't be long. I was thinking the tax deadline was coming up, but then I forgot that the feds have given us another month. Mm-hmm. And I guess the state is giving us an additional month as well. Or does
I think everybody's trying to be fairly reasonable about these kind of things. So many people. Tax returns this year are going to be abysmal for a lot of people.
Yes.
I think if you look at how many people have had decreased income, how many people have had no income. Now, you're probably going to see people that had a real good income for the first 3 months of 2020.
Yep.
Because that's what we're filing. And then very little or nothing going into the back end.
Mm-hmm. That's actually kind of my situation. Is the back end of 2020 was very sparse for me personally as a wage earner, but the first half okay, and I don't think the tax hit's going to be that big. I'm worried about the people that weren't working a regular job where they were being taxed, and what kind of tax hit. They might get a big refund, come to think of it. Because what taxes they did pay, they get back because they didn't make a lot of money.
But you know, the problem with that is you have a lot of people that were working part-time jobs where they weren't withholding, and these people are going to do the right thing and want to pay their taxes, and they don't realize that if they weren't getting withholding from their employer, they're also liable for the full Social Security and Medicare tax.
Right.
So there's another 15% that nobody was counting on. It's been very, very difficult. No doubt about it. But I'm glad to see that at least here, our tourism is certainly not our biggest business in Baton Rouge, but it's a very good business here that it's coming back.
Do you mind if I toot our horn and try and sell us a little bit here? Because now that we're starting to come out of this thing, there are advertising opportunities here on Pelican and on this program.
And I will do nudity.
At great value. And the strategic thing, I already buy cable, but not this station. This is one of the very few stations on your cable system that doesn't run Cox Cable inventory.
Yeah, if you're buying Cox Cable, God bless you, but you're not getting anything on us in our live program.
And with Pelican, with all the sports programming and the sportsman's and outdoors programming, as well as shows like this and Clarence Buggs and Rocket Right, you've got a very unique audience that's not being reached if you're buying local TV or if you're buying cable. So if you want to reach that audience, and we're talking about, well, this program reaches about 800,000 households potentially, you might want to give us a call or send us an email. Email addresses are easy. Bill@exilestv.com. Kevin@exilestv.com. Just send an email, say I'd like to know more, and we'll tell you more.
Yeah, I mean, we will, if you want, we'll get your email and we'll send you our phone number and we'll talk about it in person. None of this, look at the sheet, try to find out what's good.
We'll find out what's right for you and what you can afford.
Let's discuss. We've always found that's the best way to deal with clients. When we're on the radio, that's how we used to do it.
Yep.
We'll come to you and we will discuss it with you.
But see, right down there in that lower corner where it says the Exiles has a logo that you see up here, that could be your logo.
Yep.
That could be you. Your phone number. Either one of these two boxes down in the corner can be you.
Well, and we can also get full, well-done commercials that happen during the regular commercial breaks. And, you know, first one in, if you want first position, you got it. Last one in, or you want the last position. We've got a lot of flexibility now coming out of COVID like a lot of people do. So give us a call. Let's see if we can't help you a little bit.
We would love to sign you up as a sponsor of Exiles TV. And then you can proudly say that you're keeping good talk alive in Baton Rouge and the surrounding area.
That's exactly right. Clarence Bugg, speaking of good talk, coming up in about 6.5 minutes. And of course,
stay tuned.
We'll be back at 10 o'clock tonight. If you'd like to review what you saw here or maybe tell somebody to take a look at it on this very same station. In the meantime, be well, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great day. God bless.
Bye-bye.